And it's difficult because the main stores, the big chain stores, they have a very, very poor buying policy when it comes to Indian classical music and only stock a small number of CDs. The buyers don't really know what's any good. So their policy is very haphazard, and no specialist listener will go into one of the major stores, whether it's Virgin or HMV or any of the others, to buy Indian classical music. It's a problem. It's a problem of education for the stores.
And did you find a solution for this?
The solution is very simple. We don't think that it's actually an effective route to sell CDs. So our solution has been to look at a different model. We still have conventional distribution, yes. We also signed up with the various online organizations like iTunes and The Orchard and various other companies, CD Baby. But again, I don't feel that the downloading approach to this particular genre of music is great either, because the pieces tend to be longer, and the downloading fraternity tend to look for shorter pieces of music. So that whole area is difficult as well for Indian classical music in terms of a way of sourcing music for the listener. So what we found is that some of the best routes is directly via internet sales from our website, and the artists taking CDs with them on tour. And this is an area in particular I feel is very, very important, because the artist, if you like, acts as a shop window for the product. Historically, artists have taken all sorts of CDs with them on tour, sometimes badly produced, cheaply produced in India. Maybe they go into a studio, do a recording, in and out very quickly. Production quality isn't great, and they take those CDs on tour. But the problem is, of course, is that the products, like I say, not very good, and the listener is disappointed. Which then harms the reputation of the artist. So our approach has been to, if you like, educate and convince the artist that the best thing they can do is take a high quality product produced by us or another label, and take that product with them on tour and sell it to help enhance their reputation. And we have a package that we provide to artists where we supply them at like a trade price, so they can actually make money on tour as well, and it's a really fantastic deal for the artists. So we're trying to encourage them with this new type of philosophy to help them make money on tour, and also help publicize the music and increase their exposure and reputation. My involvement with Sense, like I say, goes back a number of years, and we started recording in India. We felt we wanted to go to the heart of the music. We realized that there was a problem with processes involved with live recording, and many artists get recorded while they're on tour in Europe or America. And we felt that this wasn't the best way to capture a live recording, because schedules are very tight. Artists are rushing from hotels to venues. Often there are time limits in the venues, and circumstances generally are not good for making the recording. So we felt that the best thing to do was go to India and seek out a major festival there and work in partnership with that organization, so that we could record for the whole duration of a festival. And in this case we went to Ahmedabad in Gujarat and recorded the Saptak festival. So I began recording at the Saptak festival in 2000. And what we realized was that through having control of the recording process, having control of the PA system, being able to liaise with artists more closely, and be able to take our time primarily, having a good mobile rig in the venue for 2 weeks allows us to, if you like, get the best out of that particular venue and the circumstances we find there. So we've been able to develop techniques in the live situation which have really enhanced the live recordings. The hall itself, it's not exactly a beautiful hall, it's not a beautiful setting, but the hall is laid out with clean sheets on mattresses on the floor with long kilum type pillows that people sit up against. And it's a very relaxed, calm type of atmosphere. So in one level, the audiences are a little more laid back in terms of their response at the end of the performances and so on. They're not quite as exuberant at that time, but during the performances, what you will see is a huge amount of interaction between the artist and the audience. Some of that you will actually hear on the recordings, because people do vocalize their appreciation in an Indian classical concert, and you'll hear people, saying "Kya baat hai" and things like this, which basically means wonderful, and,
Yes.
and you'll see people making gestures with their faces and with their hands, and this acts as a very positive encouragement to the artists, of course. And one of the reasons why we went to a festival in India was that we have a very knowledgeable audience, and the audience also includes many senior artists. So you have a festival that lasts for 2 weeks, where you have some of the greatest artists in India performing in front of each other, and you also have, if you like, developing artists, younger artists, performing in front of great masters.
Yeah, so it's
And in
really a
front of-
mix of generations as well.
Yeah, a mix of generations and a very knowledgeable audience. So you get a much more in-depth and serious performance.
Yeah.
We're looking to develop relationships with artists, and trying to encourage really good musical relationships between artists. And so we've encouraged the Jugalbandi's approach to producing the music. So this is basically a word which describes duet in Indian classical music. So we felt that it was good to explore this territory, because also I think for many Western listeners, they need a little more variety and interaction between musicians. They find a full-on solo Indian classical recital sometimes a little difficult. And there are opportunities within Jugalbandi for, something else to happen. There's a conversation which occurs between the musicians. And this can be really, really special if the conversation is good, of course. The politics of Indian classical musicians, the whole hierarchy, is a little complicated, and it's very hard to be a diplomat all the time.
Yeah.
There are times when musicians get really crazy. Their egos sometimes go a little out of control and so on. But yeah, musicians can get overinflated egos, and the problem is that this music is struggling financially, and for this music to survive into the next century, we have to all work together in a very careful and considered way, almost like everyone is all part of the same business rather than seeing themselves as an individual concern.
Yeah.
And this is why we're trying to work so closely with artists, if you like, have a new philosophy that everyone understands. So I spend a lot of time writing and talking to artists, but it's a hard job sometimes. They don't change so easily.
Yeah. Well, it's an ongoing process.
We're doing something good, I
Yeah.
think.